video, I'll be making a boomless sprayer attachment for a skid steer. I welded a frame onto a new skid steer mounting plate so that this can be a standalone attachment. I'm also using the 12-volt DC power supply from the skid steer so there's no battery needed. If you like the design and want any of these parts, they are linked in the video description. I'm starting out just by using solder seal wire connectors to connect the 12-volt supply into the pump that I'll be using. The tank that I'm using has some nuts that are molded into the plastic, and I'm pretty sure these pump mounting patterns are pretty standard, or maybe I just got lucky, but I used 1024 screws to mount that in. Just using some 90-degree elbows to connect to the polypropylene pipe for the plumbing. I used half-inch polypropylene pipe for this, which supposedly has a much better UV resistance than PEX would. And here I'm just crimping on some half-inch polypropylene pipe crimp rings with a PEX crimper, but just not as hard as you would for PEX. It's a lot thinner walled and happens to thread perfectly into 3/8 inch threaded brass. If you get the same tank as me, these holes are exactly 14 inches apart. But this is going to be just the mounting bracket that holds the polypropylene pipe and the nozzle in place. Jesus. Same thing here, just a couple 1024 screws. I just drilled a hole through a hose clamp and made this nifty little contraption. So this is just a blank skid steer mounting plate that you can buy. It's about $140 and just allows you to make your own custom skid steer attachments. I'm using 11 gauge 2-inch square steel tubing and 1-inch square steel tubing. If you're looking to get into welding, I'd highly recommend this welder. It's by Yes Welder. It's just a flux core welder. I used to do MIG, but I didn't want to have to deal with the tank of argon in my home garage, so tried this one out and it's been great. It can do stick, lift TIG, or flux core arc welding. I'll put a link for that in the description too. It's a good idea to wear a welding jacket. These BBs are pretty hot that come off of the arc, and also the arc can sunburn you just from the UV light that it puts off. So now I've got one on. But now I don't. And there's a dog nearby. Welding on some half-inch D-rings for the ratchet straps to hold the tank to the frame. Picking it up with a skid steer. It didn't fall apart, and it seems pretty sturdy. These are 8-foot long endless ratchet straps, which just take some of the bulk out of the normal ratchet straps so you don't have those hooks sitting around. Just double checking the wiring convention with this rocker switch so the light's not always on and only on when the switch is on.
Oh yeah.
And here's an easy way to mix it all up. This thing works great. It's gonna make my life a lot easier.